Hi guys, we're painting the straps on the Demon today, sort of brown to parchment type colour. And for this we're going to use chocolate brown and tan yellow. The straps have already been base coated in chocolate brown and an olive green mix. And we're going to paint each strap as an individual element, trying to place the light where it would be according to each strap. And painting this first highlight, the paint is not too diluted and we're not worrying about the transitions or brush strokes here. We're just trying to get the light in the right placement. And to increase intensity, we just simply add more layers of paint. If we want the highlight to be brighter at the top parts of the straps, we're just going to go over that 2 or 3 times with the paint. Another important aspect of painting anything on your model is, if you notice here how I drag the paint from the shadow area up into the highlight. Now what this does, it deposits the majority of the paint where you finish the brush stroke. So the highlighted area will receive the most paint and therefore light. So now that we have the first light in place on all the straps, I need to go back now and blend the transitions in from the dark base coat to the lighter highlight that I put on. Now I've mixed up a glaze with the mix I've just used for the first highlight, plus 1 to 2 parts water. And as I explained before in the light step, I'm dragging the paint from the dark area, the shadow, into the light area. And this helps to blend the transition. Now, I want to try and explain the technique of glazing a little bit with the use of my thumb. So the glazing I've just done was done with this mix of paint. So you can see the consistency of the paint and how much actually gets deposited onto the surface. It's very thin, but when you keep adding layers, and as you can see here, it dries very quickly, and will build up an intensity of color the more layers you add. The other thing to note is that I can keep adding layers here because it dries very quickly. As I load the brush with paint and then I wick most of the water and the paint off on a paper towel before I start painting. So we're adding the second light now, and for this we've just added more tan yellow into the mix, and we're trying to paint about 30 to 40% less of the surface this time to create a highlight spot on each strap. It's important that we don't overdo the highlights at this stage, otherwise we lose the colour, we lose the mid-tone, and we ended up with a greyish sort of finish. So we want to keep the highlights really on the highest points. Again, we're on to more blending now. And this is exactly the same as we did in the previous blending. We've thinned the colour down with 1 to 2 parts water, and we're dragging from probably about 1 millimetre outside of the highlight into the highlight to blend the transitions. So this is the last highlight we add to these straps, and it's the original mix with even more tan yellow. And we're really trying to hit just the highest points on these highlights and some of the upper facing edges. When painting anything like this, the most important aspect is to know where your light source is. So on this demon, I'm imagining that the light is coming from the upper left of the model. So we have to try and paint the lights as if they are coming from there. So this part, for instance, down here would get very little light. So the last layer we added didn't need any blending as it went on quite smoothly. But we've mixed up chocolate brown with some water now. I've thinned it down a little bit, and we're painting the shadow areas in on the straps. And again, it's the opposite of the highlights. We're starting from outside where the shadows would be, nearer the highlight, and we're dragging that brown down into the shadows. We're going to go over this with several layers 3 to 4 layers on most parts, sometimes more. And this is just to build intensity more up into the darkest areas. So here's the final result of the painting today, guys. The straps have come out really nice, and they've got really nice contrast with nice bright highlights and really deep dark shadows. Thanks for watching, guys, and join me in the Brushmaster studio next time for some more painting fun.